Welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. We have the 2020 feature, sports with Brian Camp, and entertainment news with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Here we are at TGIF, and here we go, another Friday morning, and we're coming to you live from New York City. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. We get together each week, and we provide you with a little news, entertainment, and we conversate together, and we like you to be along with us. And on this day, on Friday, we've got a lot of things planned for you. So those of you who are watching us for the very first time, don't make it your last time, and just keep coming along. For those of you who've been with us for a while, you already know the protocol. We come on 3 different places. We're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube, and we're on Instagram. We're here live. And that being said, you can talk to us as we talk to you. So all you have to do is, as I throw out a conversation, and we keep the ball rolling on the show, you can join in too by adding an addition to a conversation, ask questions, just say hi or whatever, and you can talk to other people as well as they come into the room. And since we're coming on these 3 items, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, while we're here, we just walked in. So all you have to do is add your friends to the list, and you can do that by tagging them. When they see that notification, they will pop it on and they'll come in, they'll see you. You can talk to them as they come in and talk to others and talk to me as well. The conversation is open and it's free exchange. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, we invite you to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it, because when you do that, whenever we come on live or we post a video or something to that nature, you will get notification if you're online at the moment, and you can pop right on, and that will be your reminder that we're right there for you. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being along with us. All you have to do is follow us each week, which a lot of people do. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to say what is, or what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee. So ladies and gentlemen, excuse me while I shoot up. That's delicious coffee. It's iced coffee today, and it's hazelnut, and it's iced coffee today. I guess you can tell iced coffee. We're back in another heat wave, and we're going to be this way. We're going to be in the warm conditions all week long, all for the rest of the weekend and into next week. So it's going to be a while before we break this heat, but it's okay by me because I'm a summertime person anyway. And those of you who are not summertime people, well, we're gonna have to grin and bear it. I mean, after all, I do when the winter comes around, I grin and bear it, because I know I live in a place where there's 4 seasons. So a lot of you live in places where your 4 seasons are 4 seasons, but not 4 seasons. What I mean by that, it could be winter where you are, but the lowest temperatures could be 60 degrees, which is a heat wave for us in the winter time. So we all are in this together. So since we're all in it together, I want to remind you that later on in the program, not too far away, as a matter of fact, 20 past the hour, we have our 2020 feature, right? So 20 past the hour, Brian Camp will be here live from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's going to come along, and you'll meet him. He'll be right there on the screen. You'll see him, and he's going to come along with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And he's got a lot to talk about, and we love discussing sports when he comes along. 20 to the hour, DJ Pete comes along with his portion of the 2020 feature, and that's entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of all of the people of notoriety of this week. However, DJ Pete is not going to be here today. He's off, but he was nice enough to send us his material in, so I am going to convey everything that he usually do. I am going to do it myself. So it's all covered. We cover all of our people here. Brian takes off, we cover him. Pete takes off, as today, we're going to cover him. So it's covered all the way around. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being along. And those of you who are going to chime in conversation, we really appreciate that. And if you do, Give us your weather report. That's something that's not mandatory, but we like to ask you for it anyway, because we like to see what it's like in your area of the world as far as your weather is concerned. Now, also later on in the program, I have for you those classic movies that you love so much. My picks of the week for this weekend, Turner Classic Movies, because I want to be part of your action too, because you already know that even though you may be doing a lot of things, but same time, you might want to catch up on some movies. I'm going to tell you how to do that. And plus, I'll give you my picks of the week of all of those movies. So we'll have all of that coming up for you. And right throughout the program, it's all right there. So again, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me again while I shoot up. That's marvelous. That's marvelous. Well, the heat wave, as I said, is not going to break in New York, but we will find out what it's going to be like as time goes on. Now, since the summertime, you see a lot of people are going to be doing a lot of things. It's beach weather. People go on the beach. I know those surfers in California are out there in full force. Here in New York, we've got our beaches, Coney Island, Jones Beach, Orchard Beach, and so forth and so on, Long Island Beach. We've got all of those beaches, and people are going to be going out. People are going to be cooking outdoors in their backyards, doing a little barbecuing and grilling, barbie on the grill, or grill or shrimp on the barbie. That's what I meant to say. And burgers and fries and hot dogs and all of those things. And some people like even clam bakes. I remember growing up as a little kid, living in Brighton Beach, Coney Island. We had a backyard, and our family used to pop over like almost every Saturday. And we used to have a lot of things. We used to have clam bakes, a lot of fried foods and things like that, and it was great. So a lot of people are going to be doing that this summer, and a lot of other things. And of course, in some places you have street fairs where a lot of people like to go. We used to have a lot of them in New York. We don't have too much of them anymore. But for those of you who have the experience and have the luxury of having a street fairs in your area, there's places you can go and do that. So a lot of things to do this summer, and we're waiting around because now it's August, because the last time we were here, it was the month of July. So now we're into August, and this is the 5th day of August, right? 5th day of August. And before you know it, September will be here, kids going back to school, and some of the people and some of the parents like to sing the song, even though it's not the time to sing the song, but it's the most wonderful time of the year. All right. And shortly after they go back to school, who knows, before you know it, Christmas time will be back. But let's not rush that. Let's stay in summer right now and enjoy what we have. Okay, I'm going to give you my weather forecast. And again, I want to, urge all of you who are watching right now. And if you're watching from a different country or a different city or someplace around the world, we like to hear your weather forecast. If not, it's okay too. Like I said, it's not mandatory, but we would just like to hear it. I'm going to ask you for it if you come in, and we would just like to hear that. And but those of you who live in New York, don't worry about it, because I'm going to take care of all of that right now. I'm going to take care of all of that right now. We've got 81 degrees right now. It's only after 10 o'clock here in New York. 81 degrees. And like I said, it's going to be a warm one today. So this is what we have. It's going to be partly cloudy early, then heavy thunderstorms this afternoon. We'll have hot temperatures. It'll be humid too, high 91 degrees. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 70%. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy this in the evening, and scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. And we'll have a low 76 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be 40%. So you have 70% today and 40% tonight. For tomorrow, Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll have a high 88 degrees. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain, another 40%. Saturday night, mainly cloudy. We'll have low 77. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And the outlook for Sunday, I guess, is better than the rest of the days in some respect. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, scattered showers and thunderstorms developing No, I said a little better. No better than the rest of the days until I got to this point. Showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 91, and winds will be southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain, another 40%. And repeating our current temperature, we have 81 degrees outdoors here in New York City. So it's going to be rain, off and on, but the temperatures are going to be high and the humidity is going to be high as well. So that's what we have here in New York. And so I hope it's better where you are. Your weather is where you are. It'll be great if it would be. But those of you who are doing the outdoors things, and you may have better weather where you are, but it may be hot as well where you are. So what we urge you to do is please stay hydrated as much as possible. Drink plenty of fluids, eat fruit, things that contain the water, keeps you cool, keeps you hydrated. Try to stay away from alcoholic beverages, especially if you're outdoors, all right? Because what you want to do is stay hydrated, and alcohol tends to dehydrate. And we want the best for you. So there you have all of that weather. For those of you like us here in New York, it's not that bad. It's not a washout, but there'll be times when the rain will come on, thunderstorms. It may keep you indoors, and you might want to catch up on some movies. And as I said later on in the show, I'll give you all of that information on the Turner Classic Movies that we have for you. And, just give you all of that. That's all coming up. Okay, we want to say belated happy birthday to our 44th president of the United States, Barack Obama. He celebrated a birthday just yesterday. He turned 61. And so happy birthday to Barack Obama. We also want to say happy birthday, belated happy birthday to Esther Anderson. Now, Esther Anderson, you may not know who she is, and those of you who are in the age bracket as I am, and maybe just a bit younger, know her as an actress. She's from Jamaica, West Indies, and she's an actress, and she played on one of the classic movies that's she did with Sidney Poitier back in 1973, which is called A Warm December. So that's the same Esther. She played opposite Sidney Poitier. She was a supporting actress. And it was a great movie. It was just on Turner Classic Movies just 2 nights ago. But she was a star of that movie, Esther Anderson. She's a filmmaker, an actress, a photographer, and I'm pretty sure she's active in some part of that industry. Maybe not so much the acting part, but doing something else. She's 77 years old. She turned 77 yesterday. So there you go. Also, another happy belated birthday to our last living icon in popular music and the songbook, the American songbook. Tony Bennett had turned 69. He turned 69 just 2 days ago. 69 years old, Tony Bennett. I think he's one of our New York's. The last time I went back, he lived right here on Manhattan Island, someplace on the Upper West Side, I believe, or the Upper East Side. I'm not sure, him and his wife, but he's retired now, and he's just enjoying the fruits of his labor, and his music will be around for a long time, forever, if possible, So that's Tony Bennett, who had taken the step in show business all of these years, and people love him and adore him, and I still love him and adore him. I love his music, and he's just the last of the living legends in this industry in popular music and the American songbook. Happy birthday, Tony Bennett. Well, a little bad news, of course, we heard over the week, Star Trek, another icon in TV on the series Star Trek. I'm talking about the original Star Trek. Nichelle Nicole passed away. She was the only African-American female on that show. The only African-American, period, at that particular time on that show. And she passed away this week at the age of 89 years old. Now, Nichelle Nichols had so much energy in her younger years, and that energy just carried on to her last years, last years. It just carried on. Seen her on interviews, and she was just a ray of sunshine every time she talked to people. So yeah, she passed away at the age of 89 years old. We're going to miss her. A big story about uh, Michelle. She at one point was going to leave the show. This is a great story. She told the story so many times she's going to leave the show. But it was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. who urged her to stay, because he said, you don't get a lot of Black people, African Americans, they don't get the opportunities that you have. You got it, and you should stay there and keep things rolling and inspire others when they come along. So she decided that she was going to stay on that show. And she imagines, I think, arranged to stay on that show up until, I guess, the late or middle 70s, something like that. So we want to say all of our condolences to all of the people who work with her, William Shatner and the late Leonard Nimoy. They all worked with her. They all loved her. And we just want to send our condolences out to her family and friends and all of her other relatives. And thank you so much for your work and everything that you did over the years. Also, Pat Carroll, she's the Emmy-winning actress, and she did the voice of Ursula in The Little Mermaid. Those of you who remember The Little Mermaid, well, she was the voiceover character. She did the character of Ursula, and she passed away from a case of pneumonia this week at the age of 95. So we want to send our condolences out to her. We also had a death in the world of sports, but I am going to save that one for when Brian comes on. He's going to relate all of that. That's sports related. He's going to tell you more about that later on. And other news in sports, all of that is coming on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're still dealing with a lot of things, as you know. People are dealing. We got still, if you haven't had your shots for your COVID-19, those things are working wonders. A lot of people, even though if they catch it, it's not a definitely ailment or anything. They spend time away from other people. And I guess if you want to use the word in I don't know, you could use either word. You could use quarantine or separated from other people, however you want to phrase it. As long as you do that for 5 days and get retested again and come out on the negative side, then you can go back into the fold. But those things work. And also, with the variant that comes on, the COVID-19, we're also dealing with this monkeypox. Now, here in New York, just yesterday, they made it a state of an emergency. And so, but it's an emergency, but there are not enough vaccines to go around. They're trying to rush it, speed it up, get more for everyone. But they're urging people who actually live in areas who actually are really high risk, and it looks like New York is a really high risk right now, is to get vaccinated for that. So we're getting vaccinated for a lot of things. So now I gotta make plans to get vaccinated for that. Just around the corner, not too far away, the flu season is coming in. That's another thing. So we're dealing with that. So everybody has to get their flu shots. And those of you who are keeping up with your COVID shots, that's a good thing for you. Thank you so much for that. And keep things going. Make sure you stay healthy as possible. And make sure you look out for your family, friends, relatives. Make sure they get theirs. For those of you, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Coffee could do anything. So if you're looking, you're not at the point where you're not vaccinated at all, maybe you ought to think about that, because the quicker everyone is vaccinated from all of these things that we're experiencing at the moment, like COVID, the monkeypox, and all of those things, we want to stay up to date with all of those things. So like the monkeypox is like really a serious thing right now. And people are out to get that too. They're fighting to get, and I'm confident that it'll be available to everyone, because it was like the same thing with the COVID. vaccines. Only certain people were able to get them at first, like people, very important people, which is all of us. We're all important, but we're talking about when the politicians were there, they have to stay in office to run the country and things like that. And so they were at the top of the list to get the vaccine, but now it's all available to everyone at any time. So it's not an excuse. You don't need an excuse for anything like that. Don't make any excuses, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, just get out there and decide for yourself that it's your time to shine and your time to get out there and do your part and help out and get vaccinated. And that's all we're asking you to do. So therefore, it's cool. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we already told you, 2020 feature, we got Brian Camp on the line right now. He's first part of the 2020 feature, and he's got the latest developments in today's world of sports, and he's giving up the sign. Look at him giving up that sign up there. You know what that sign is for? He knows what it's for. It's a sign of Star Trek. That's a Star Trek sign. Look at him.
Mr. Spock, yes. Mr. Spock. All you Trekkie fans should know that we don't say Star Trek fans, we say Trekkies. And I was a Trekkies. Nichelle Nicholas was a wonderful human being. From Captain James T. Kirk and to Mr. Spock and to Dr. McCoy and Scotty and to Mr. Chekhov and Mr. Sulu and of course Lieutenant Uhura, who's so beauty and passionate. True story that William Shatner purposely took that take over and over for the kiss because the producers and people around the nation and in the world did not approve of that kind of scene of a black and white kissing on screen and everything. But James Kirk did it for, William Shatner did that for a reason, to let them know, to let everybody know it's okay. Employ William Shatner for that and everything. But she was a wonderful human being. You're absolutely correct. Dr. King talked her out of it. And there's more to that story. When she had submitted her resignation for the weekend, she went back on Monday after speaking with Dr. King, and Gene Roddenberry, who's the producer, the executive producer, a creator, already handed Nichelle Nicholas a ripped up resignation that she had submitted. So he ripped it up knowingly that he was hoping that she would change her mind to come back. So we employed Dr. King and Gene Roddenberry for doing that. I'm glad that, we have made turns in the Hollywood industry of allowing these things to happen. There was even, for example, Jim Brown and Raquel Welch making a love scene. There was talk about that and everything. But we're glad that we are past that and everything.
That was Raquel Welch's idea.
It was Raquel Welch's idea, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
She suggested that, not Jim Brown. She said
not Jim Brown, right. So, but even back then, to a lot of people did not approve of that. But I'm glad Raquel Welch did that, wanted that. And Jim Brown okayed it, said, yes, let's do this, So
she's a Mexican descent. Did you know that? She's Mexican.
Get her mixed up with Gina Lola, what's her name? Gina Lola Bricata?
She's Italian, but Raquel Welch is
right.
Mexican. Her father was Mexican.
Right.
Anyway, give us that sign again.
How can we do it with the left? I have trouble with the right. I got to do this with the right. It still goes that. With the left, I could do that with the left. Yes. But good morning to you, to everybody out there on Zoom and to Facebook and to Instagram and YouTube. I greet you good morning. It is 79 degrees out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's hot. I'm sweating already. Let me take off my cap. See, I'm sweating already. And it's going to be 91 degrees, but it is humid. If you hear in the background, you can hear singing and doing whatever they doing just to get my attention, But it is hot out here. But in sports, Today, Brittany Grimes, as you probably heard by now, was found guilty, convicted, drugs through customs, and was found guilty in 9 years in prison. There might be later on that since they didn't want to discuss a prison swap because they were in the middle of a war and in the middle of the investigation. So now that since it's over, they're going to try to do a 2-for-1 swap to bring us home and let one of the Russians go back to Russia um, for selling weapons. But, I'll leave the politics out. But that's, yes, sad news in this world of sports. In the NBA, Bill Russell, the cornerstone of the Bulls dynasty that won 8 straight titles and 11 overall during his career, the Hall of Famer was 8 away. There was no immediate cause of death. Russell was also winner as well, off the court as well, too. Russell led the 1961 exhibition game to unmask too long tolerated discrimination to leading the Mississippi first integrated basketball camp in the combustible wake of the Medgar Evers assassination. That was back in the early 60s when Medgar Evers was shot and killed in his driveway. And Bill Russell faced a lot of racism during his career in the city of Boston for the Boston Celtics. He always said, I don't play for the city of Boston, I play for the Boston Celtics. He walked with the late Dr. Martin Luther King. He stood by Muhammad Ali during the Vietnam War when Ali refused to fight in an unjust war. He was also investigated and was under surveillance of the FBI as well too. Now, Russell was also the first African-American NBA coach and the first to win a title as a coach. And in 2010, President Barack Obama honored him with the most prestigious award of any American that could ever receive, was the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award. And that was in 2010. Bill Russell, a fine ball player, but most of all, a genuine person. In the NFL, Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson will serve a 6-game suspension without pay, but will not be fined for the violation of the league's personal conduct. The disciplinary officer, who was the neutral judge, Sue L. Robinson, gave the suspension issue to the ruling in a comprehensive 16-page report. She listened to all 4 cases of the women who submitted their lawsuit. He decided that the NFL give 6 games, but the NFL recommended Watson to be suspended for the entire season and the postseason. The NFL has filed an appeal in the Deshaun Watson case already, and Commissioner Rogers will determine who will hear the appeal. More scandals in football. The Miami Dolphins was stripped of their 2023 first-round pick, among other measures, for tampering violations. 6 months ago, former coach Brian Flores of the Dolphins filed a class action lawsuit against the league, accusing the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos of conducting sham interviews in order to fulfill the Rooney rules. That's rules is when somebody, people of color or different sex, should have an opportunity for an interview for the football league. But all of that, you can always go around that. Sometimes you could hire somebody already, but you're not going to make it official until you see a person of color or a different person of their sexual to be interviewed. And that's where we have, but they were found not guilty of that. However, owner Stephen Ross of the Miami Dolphins was found guilty of charges of tampering, charges of trying to get Tom who's also the former coach of the New Orleans Saints. So U.S. Attorney Mary Jo White found Miami Dolphins guilty and was fined $1.5 million and suspended until October 17th of 2022. and they lost some draft picks along the way. Some more sad news. Vince Scully, long time announcer for the Brooklyn / Los Angeles Dodgers. He was an iconic former broadcaster for 67 years. Died on Tuesday. He was 94 years of age. He was the longest tenured broadcaster with a single team in pro sports history. And Scully saw it all and called it all. Real Edward Scully was born November 29th, 1927, where? In Bronx, New York. So yes, he's a New Yorker, he all over, but he was also on the national level too. Whenever the national games would come on, he would be pulled from Dodger games to do the national telecast games. And we give our thoughts and prayers to Vince Scully, family, and to the late great Bill Russell. Prayer for them for healing at this time. In sports, August 5th, American athlete Jesse Owens wins the 200-meter in world record time of 20.7 seconds, his third gold medal at the Berlin Olympics. That was back in 1936 and 1948. The Cleveland
Okay, you're freezing up a bit. I'm not sure what's happening. We're having some technical difficulties. I don't know if you could hear me, Brian, but your monitor froze up. Maybe you're in a location. I don't know where your location is. But we're not getting you. We're not getting you. We'll linger on a little bit. Maybe he'll come back and wrap up what he was going to say. We'll linger on a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And let's see, he just kicked off. Maybe he'll come back. Yeah, he got kicked off. Maybe he'll come back. We'll try to if you're out there, Brian, watching again, try to boot up again, get back on, and we'll wrap up what you were saying before, because we still have time. But you're watching Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and we are here, of course, every Friday. I said Talk Back Live, but I meant the coffee hour. See, I have two shows. I have one on Thursday night and one on Friday morning. And sometimes I say the wrong thing on each show, so I'm only human, but it's the coffee hour. And we're going to be here for the rest. We've got a few minutes. And those of you who are watching us, we're here live on Facebook or on YouTube, and also live on Instagram. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook, whatever time is left, please tag your friends, tag this particular show to your friends and bring them in. And we'll get them in. Hopefully they'll like what they hear, like what they see, and enjoy just like you. And for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, just follow us each week. That's all you have to do. Just follow us each week. And for you YouTubers out there, go to my YouTube channel and please subscribe to it. Because this way, you'll get to be part of us. And not only that, when we sign on live or if we post anything, you'll get notification and you go directly right to the YouTube channel. And so we have all of that provided for you. I guess Brian didn't get back on, so I guess that wraps up. He didn't try to reboot or get back on. So if he does, we'll let him finish off. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being along with us on this Friday. And as I always say, what would coffee hour be without coffee? We always have our coffee in hand. Here we go. Oh boy, that is delicious. That is delicious. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's what Lawrence Welk says. It's wonderful, 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 wonderful. You ever watch that show? I was wondering if anybody ever watched that show. Some people, I thought it was entertainment for a lot of people. And of course, obviously it's not on the air anymore, except for reruns on the PBS channels. You can find them there. But that was a show I was always forced to watch when I was a little kid growing up in the 50s and the 60s. I was always, well, when I was a little boy. As a man, I decided, well, you know, I don't have to watch that anymore. But I was always forced to watch it because I used to visit my grandmother on the weekends, and which I always do like. I always did like to do that for one particular reason. I always got away with murder with her, as I couldn't get away with murder with my mom. You know, she wasn't having it. But I was always able to get away with murder with my grandmother. And that's why I love staying with her on the weekends. The only punishment is that I had to watch the Lawrence Welk show on Saturday night, which wasn't my idea of a Saturday night because my grandmother loved that show. And so that was part of it. So if I'm going to get away with murder, I have to take the bitter with the sweet, right? With the Lawrence Welk show, I don't know. I don't want to get any haters out there, but it's only my opinion. And a lot of people enjoy the Lawrence Welk show, but those of you who enjoy it, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, but I thought that was a hokey show. But it was music. It was great imitation of big bands and things like that. But I always just thought it was. And yet, I was watching it. And yet I was watching it. And the people who were on the show at the time, listen, to each their own, to each their own, to each their own. All right. Now, if you like it, you like it. If you didn't like it, you didn't turn to it. And that was it. Okay, Brian came back. So we're going to put him back on and let him wrap up what he came to do. He's in another area right now, I see. How are we looking?
What happened was my computer, my iPad shut down because when you outside in this heat, it warns you that it's overheating.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought something was happening.
Yeah, but technology always comes back with, you have your phone.
Yeah.
Now, where did I leave off at?
I don't know. You better go back to stop back with. You did. I heard you do Bill Russell, and maybe you better go from there, because when you froze up, I just can't remember what you were saying when you froze up.
Okay, I'll do a summary.
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns Deshaun Watson is serving a 6-game suspension. The NFL is fighting it so he could serve a longer entire season, and so he don't have to play football at all for this season. Miami Dolphins Stephen Ross was fined $1.5 million because he was tampering and trying to get Tom Brady and Sean Payton. Major League Baseball, we lost Vince Scully, longtime Dodger great announcer. He died at the age of 94. He was there for 67 years calling games for the Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodgers, and he will surely be missed. He was born in the Bronx, New York. His real name is Vincent Edward Scully. So that's where I think I left off at. And basically, happy birthday to Patrick Ewing, who was born in Kingston, Jamaica. Jesse Owens wins the 200-meter worldwide record of 20.7 seconds, third gold medal in the Berlin Olympics in Germany. Cleveland Indians set a record for most double plays, 6 versus the Senators, 1969. Willie started to hit a home run out of orbit. When I say out of orbit, he hit it so far and it was gone. And he hit it for 506 feet. Pete Rose is the collected 2,427 career singles, not doubles or triples, singles. Willie Mays, William Giles, Hack Wilson inducted to Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. San Francisco Giants Steve Carlton becomes the second player to reach 4,000 strikeouts. Warren Moon becomes the first Black quarterback to be inducted to Hall of Fame, joining Troy Aikman, John Madden, Raphael Wright, Harry Carson, and Reggie White. Braves left-hander Tom Glab becomes the 23rd pitcher to win 300 games. 2013, Alex Rodriguez, at that time with the Yankees, was suspended for 211 games for PEDs. PED stands for performance enhancement drugs. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
I wonder, they're not doing as many enhancing drugs as they used to, are they? I don't think. I think they
No,
cut down on
no,
that.
they're not. No, no, they're not. They well, nobody's getting caught. Put it like
Well,
that.
yeah,
People,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would like to think that everybody's doing everything on their own merits, and performing on their own, which like what they did years ago in all the other sports. They took the hits and performed on their own. They had
Yep,
bad days, they sucked it up.
that's right. Exactly.
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way, and you came
Yes.
back and joined us. So we will catch you back here next week.
Yes, and this is what I'll be doing for the weekend. I would just want everybody to see this beautiful grill, and this is the big baby right here, the smoker, Pit Boss. That's the Pit Boss. I'm cooking a 22-pound brisket for this church in North Carolina. So yes, it's going to start at 9 p.m. tonight. It's going to cook overnight. Should be ready by 12 noon Saturday at 12 noon.
Lots of luck, and you'll be sleeping when that happens, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be sleeping, but I'll still monitor it as well while I'm sleeping. Yes.
All right. Well, have a good time.
All right, everybody be safe, enjoy, and just stay cool. And I'll speak to you all next week, God's willing.
Okay, that was Brian, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And I'm glad he came back to wrap up everything so you didn't have to miss anything. But he'll be back here and with us next week as well. And that's his end of the 2020 feature. We got that out of the way. And we drift on to the second part of the 2020 feature. DJ Pete is normally with us, but he's not here today. So we are going to give you what he gave us for the weekend. Let's start right now. Jerry Garcia was born on this day in 1942. You remember Jerry Garcia. Jerry Garcia was the frontman of the Grateful Dead. And he was born on this day. Well, not on this day, but he was born August 1st of 1942. He passed away August 9th of 1995 at the age of 53 years old. And as I said, he was the American musician best known for being with the Principles Songwriters, and of course, the lead guitarist and vocalization of the Grateful Dead. In my opinion, and this is only my opinion, the Grateful Dead has never really been the same after that. But yeah, that's who he was, Jerry Garcia. And I just remember, listening to his music even in my college years too. Okay, Hank Cochran was born August 2nd, 1935. Let's explore Hank Cochran. All right, Hank Cochran, which his real name was Garland Perry Hank Cochran. Garland Perry Hank Cochran. And he was born on the 2nd of August. He passed away July 15th in 2010. And he was the American country music singer and songwriter too. And he started during the 1960s. Cochran was a prolific songwriter and did very well. And he did major hits, including hits like Patsy Cline and Ray Price, Eddie Arnold, and a slew of other people. So we send out happy birthdays to him in heaven, wherever he is. I would say in heaven. I like people to go to great places when they no longer are here on earth. I wish that for everybody. Mojo Nixon was born also August 2nd, but back in 1957, Mojo Nixon. Now, Mojo Nixon is still around. And he was born in Virginia, Danville, Virginia, as a matter of fact, to be precise. He's 65 years old, and he's still rocking. He's a rockabilly singer. And so he's still around doing that. He may not be a household name, but he made a big contribution to rockabilly and country music as well. Now, Frankie Ford, and here's someone I'm familiar with. Frankie Ford was born August 4th. He was born yesterday on this day, 1938, the late Freddie Ford. He was the one, and those of you may remember this who are in my age bracket, because I played the oldies. When I had that show, Music Beat, on the radio, I played the oldies, and I included Freddie Ford in on my show because he did a sea cruise. Let me take you on a sea cruise. He did that back then. And he passed away September 28th, back in 1915, not long ago. And he died at the age of 76. So, ooh-wee, baby, ooh-wee, let me take you on a sea cruise. Okay, we have Johnny Maddox. Johnny Maddox was born yesterday too. No, not yesterday, but born on that day, August 4th, in 1901. Okay, let's give you a little history around Johnny Maddox. He passed away November 27th in 2018, and he died at the age of 91 years old. And he was an American ragtime pianist and a historian and a creator of music memorabilia. And so there you go. There you go, Johnny Maddox. So happy birthday to Johnny as well. As we move on down the line, we have others on the list. We want to go to Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong allegedly was born on August 4th. I mentioned this last night because I alluded to the fact that there's some people thought that he was born the 4th of July, and here it is, it's August 4th, but nevertheless, it was in 1901. Now, everyone knows Louis, his nickname was Satchmo. He had that real graspy voice and loved his music. He loved playing. He was he was born in Louisiana. As a matter of fact, New Orleans, Louisiana. That's where Mardi Gras is, and that's a great music town. So that's where he was born, and he passed away July 6, 1971 at the age of 69. He died from a heart attack, and I remember it very well. Satchmo, Louis Armstrong. His music still lives on, so he's not going anywhere. He left a legacy, and I like people when they're in show business who are fortunate enough to leave legacies here where they can be here forever. And when other generations come along, people get to know them. I like that. Now, who wants to leave this world without leaving a legacy? Whether you're famous or not, you want to leave some kind of legacy, you know? You want to do that. Okay, Louis Armstrong, then we go from Louis Armstrong, and finally we go from Louis Armstrong to Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball, and they were all friends. Louis Armstrong, Lucille Ball, Sinatra, Bing Crosby, they were all friends. They were all running buddies. And Lucille Ball was born August 6th, which will be tomorrow. 1911 she was born, 1911. And she, of course, was known for Lucy on I Love Lucy, along with her husband, Desi Arnaz. And Lucy Arnaz, by the way, is her daughter, who's still around, by the way. She's still around, and she still does her thing. But Lucille Ball, believe it or not, when she was on the scene, she was one of her and Desi Arnaz, one of the first interracial Hollywood couples. And when she did that I Love Lucy, I think the name of it in the beginning was called My Favorite Husband. I think it was something to that nature. I have to look at if I can find it somewhere down here. Maybe it's here, maybe it's printed here. I Love Lucy, but it was I Love Lucy. And let me see if I can find it. Was it before? I believe it was called My Favorite Husband before it was I Love Lucy. But I'm certain, I'm scanning through it right now. Desi Arnaz. Anyway, nevertheless, Desi Arnaz, Lucille Ball suggested that he be in that film, and they were a married couple, and she suggested that he does the part of the husband. And it was I Love Lucy ever since. Of course, later on they got divorced, and then they both remarried to different spouses. But she was a classic lady, and she's very funny. Very funny. And I could watch I Love Lucy, all of the reruns. They're all in reruns, of course, obviously, because all of the casts are gone now. but it was funny, and she was funny. And also, she was a dramatic actress too. She was also a dramatic actress too. So she was well-rounded in her field, Lucille Ball. And so she passed away, like I said, she passed away April 26th in 1989 at the age of 77 years old. So we're talking about, she was born in 1911, right? So that would make her 110 years old. Or what is it? Let's see, 100, let's see, 1911, 2011, 21, that would make her 111 years old. That would have made her 111 years old, but her birthday is tomorrow. She'll be 111 years old. So that's all of the information. Thank you, DJ P, for all that. And here's some birthdays too, that I have of my own. Actress Maureen McCormick is 66 years old today. Singer Samantha Sang, 71. Actress Lonnie Anderson of WKRP Cincinnati is 77 today. The late Neil Armstrong, astronaut, American astronaut, would have been 91 today. And the late actor Robert Taylor, who played in a lot of Westerns, would have been 111 years old today, same as Lucille Ball. And finally, film director John Huston would have been 116 years old. So that's all of the birthdays that we have there. Happy birthday, one and all. And we want to go back to DJ Pete. Thank you, first of all, DJ Pete, for supplying us with all that information. DJ Pete has a radio show that you should be familiar with. I listen to it all the time. And he plays a lot of great music. Goes back to the old days. And you can catch him on www.radio-airwaves.co.uk. That's www.radio-airwaves.co.uk. You can hear him there Mondays at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you can also catch him on his hometown station, WMPG Radio in Portland, Maine. That's his hometown. That's his home station. So you can catch him there. And if you can't catch him on the radio, you can go to their website, because most radio stations have websites, and you can listen live there at www.wmpg.org. You can catch them there every other Tuesday between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. at all times of Eastern Time Zone, US and Canada. So thank you so much. And so that wraps up the second part of the 2020 feature, DJ Pete. And hopefully he will return to next week with us. If not, he will do the same thing. He will give us the information that we need to convey to you on what he dug up for the week. So thank you so much for that. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and we're here every Friday, every ding-dong, ring-a-ding Friday. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, we thank you so much for being along. Don't make it your last time. Keep coming back. We want to have you. We want you to be part of us. And the way to do that is just come in. You don't need a union card or any kind of certificate or any other accolades or anything like that. All you have to do is just come in and be part of us. And you're just as much as important to this show as people who have been here longer than you. You're just as important. And we'd like you to be here. Now, those of you who are joining us for the first time, we're here. If you're watching us on Facebook, as I always say, you can tag your friends, but we have a few minutes left. But, you know, you don't want to do it now, please do it next week and tag your friends and they'll get it on the show too. And on our YouTube channel, you know, we have a YouTube channel. All you have to do is be part of us on that too. You can subscribe to us. And if you subscribe to us, that will let us know or let you know that we're on the air when we come on live, or if we post a video or something. And if you're on the air, if you're on live on the internet, it'll pop up, you see, all you have to do is click onto it and it'll take you right there. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being with us. Just follow us, that's all it takes. So there you have it, it's right there. It's all fun. And again, it's always a pleasure to be with you guys each week, because you guys make the show. And if you're not here, then I will miss you, you know, so keep the word percolating and let us know where you are. So I want to say hello to all the people who are out there right now who are just watching Idol, right? And while I'm there, I want to say hello to Naoto. Haven't seen Naoto in a long time. He's out there right now. And great to have you out there, Naoto. Haven't seen you. We miss you here. How's things in Japan? Maybe you have a weather forecast, because the weather out here is hot here in New York. And so glad to have you come with us. I was wondering what happened to him. Usually I see him out here. He's out here all the time, but suddenly he got left up. But it's great to have you back out here. And if you give us a weather forecast and you're fishing for it, well, in the meantime, we are going to tell you about our movies. Our movies. All right. Now we give you all of the great movies, all of the great movies that you love, you know, because if you're under the sound of my voice right now, you know, each week we have movies to give you because we want you to be part of the action. We want you to be part of the action because if, let's say, for instance, if you're going to experience a lot of inclement weather this weekend and you can't go outdoors and do the great summertime things and it'll keep you indoors, you might want to catch up on some movies, and we supply some of the movies for you. And this is my pick of the week, my picks of the week for your weekend to go on your bucket list on things to do. First of all, we have Guys and Dolls. Guys and Dolls with, no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Let me get to the right one. Let me get to the right one. We don't want to go ahead of ourselves. Okay, so what we have for you, we have Citizen Kane, 1941 film with Orson Welles. That's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check out that tonight. Check that out tonight at 11:45 p.m. And that comes on late tonight. If you can't watch it in real time, you have to hop in bed a little earlier because you have to work tomorrow or the next day. You could always DVR it and watch it at another time. That's Citizen Kane. Also, we have Singing in the Rain from 1952 with Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds, and of course, Donald O'Connor is in there. That's also on Turner Classic Movies. That's on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And it's a great musical, 1952. And also another great musical that I like so much, On the Town, another Gene Kelly movie, this time with Frank Sinatra, and that comes on Turner Classic Movies. Three Sailors Getting Off on Brooklyn, New York Navy Yard. They're coming into town and they want to do the town because they only have 24 hours to do it. I'm not going to say any more about it. You watch it. 1949, Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's on Sunday at 8 p.m. That was called, or is called, On the Town. I think you'll like it. I love it. I enjoy it very much. I enjoy seeing the sights of the old, and they did that on the actual Navy Yard in Brooklyn, New York, which, you know, not Navy Yard anymore. But I remember when, if you watch the movie, the way the Navy Yard is, you see it looks exactly like that. And I used to go through that area because I know when my grandmother moved from one place to another, she moved downtown Brooklyn because that's where the Navy Yard was, downtown Brooklyn. And she didn't live too far from there. And I used to go to visit her and I used to walk past the Navy Yard, and it was a great sight to watch. I think the last time I looked back, they had a recording studio in there, TV recording studio in there, or movie recording studio. Anyway, that's On the Town. You can check it out. Also, you can check out a lot of other things. You want to go online, go to check out Turner Classic Movie online, and they may be things that I haven't mentioned that's on there, and you want to make sure you want to watch it. So go there. Check it out because there may be other films. Also, you want to go to a thing called movies online, or what they would call movie, I don't know, on demand. You know, go to movie on demand. There's a lot of things to do. You can do all of that. Just go there and especially turn to classic movies. And I hope you like the movies that I just told you about. That's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I had a ball and I hope you did too. Join me on Thursday for Talk Back Live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Brian Camp will be with me, along with his sports on Sports Update. You'll be here too. And of course, we'll conversate together. That's Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's right here on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Other than that, I will be back here next week as well for more of the coffee hour. Brian Camp again will be here. Well, he's part of the 2020 feature with sports, the latest developments in today's world of sports, 22 the hour DJP, with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of the week. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful day and a great weekend, and I will catch you all back here next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistance, Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.